The White House has introduced a far-reaching executive order focused on artificial intelligence, aiming to regulate and harness its potential while addressing growing concerns. The order will require AI developers to share safety test results with the government, establish measures for critical AI workers' immigration, set standards for preventing dangerous AI-generated materials, and minimize the risk of AI displacing human workers. The order also enhances AI-related fraud prevention and outlines government AI use. It builds upon voluntary commitments made by tech giants earlier this year and represents a proactive approach to managing AI's risks and benefits. Former President Donald Trump maintains a strong lead in Iowa's Republican caucuses with 43% support, according to a new Des Moines Register NBC News Mediacom poll. Governor Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are tied for second place with 16% each. The poll shows a 10-point increase for Haley, partially due to growing support among independent voters. Mike Pence, who recently dropped out of the race, had 2% support in the survey, down from 6% in August, with his backers shifting their allegiance. President Joe Biden's attempt to reshape the Democratic primary calendar has backfired, as New Hampshire refuses to relinquish its cherished first-in-the-nation status. Representative Dean Phillips, D-Min, has entered the New Hampshire primary, vowing to return the state to its traditional lead-off role. Biden's desire to elevate South Carolina in the primary schedule has created an unexpected challenge for him. While Phillips' campaign focuses on Biden's electoral viability, the president's move has drawn criticism from Democrats, including longtime supporters like Terry Shoemaker. The primary contest in New Hampshire could test Biden's standing within his party. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Nasser Kanani, attributed attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and the region to wrong American policies, specifically citing U.S. support for Israel during the recent Hamas conflict. While Iran praised Hamas's actions in the conflict, it denied direct involvement and urged the U.S. to reconsider its support for Israel. Meanwhile, there have been concerns of the conflict expanding regionally. The U.S. recently targeted facilities in Syria linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The U.S. maintains troops in Iraq and Syria amid the ongoing tensions. Narayana Murthy, the founder of IT consultancy Infosys, has stirred controversy by advocating for a 70-hour workweek among Indian tech workers. He believes that higher productivity is vital for India's progress and suggested that young Indians should take pride in working longer hours, akin to Germany and Japan's post-war rebuilding. His comments have ignited a debate among business leaders and the public as work-life balance gains prominence in conversations, echoing similar debates on extended work hours seen in China, the US, and Europe. Hurricane Otis, a record-breaking Category 5 storm, wreaked havoc in Acapulco, Mexico, leaving a trail of destruction. The city, home to nearly 900,000 people, grapples with communication breakdowns, looting, and severe shortages of essentials like food, water, and gasoline. The government reported 48 deaths and 6 missing individuals. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador and a substantial security force are leading recovery efforts. While the estimated damage cost could reach $15 billion, residents in flooded areas are critical of government assistance, struggling to meet basic needs. In India's southeastern state of Andhra Pradesh, a train crash left 13 dead and 39 injured. The incident occurred when the Visakhapatnam Rayagada passenger train halted due to an overhead cable break, and the Visakhapatnam-Palasa Express collided with it from the rear, derailing 2 carriages. Preliminary investigations point to human error and signal overshooting by the Visakhapatnam-Rayagada train as the likely cause. This tragic incident follows India's worst railway crash in 2 decades just months ago. Indian Railways is in the midst of a $30 billion modernization effort. Protesters in Russia's Makhachkala airport flooded the facility, chanting anti-Israeli slogans and searching for passengers from a Tel Aviv flight. The airport closed as rioters flooded the runway, prompting aircraft diversions. Israeli citizens were isolated during the incident. The Israeli ambassador in Russia is working with authorities to protect them. The situation in Dagestan, a majority Muslim region, could pose challenges for Putin if not contained, according to foreign affairs expert Rebecca Koffler, who warns of potential spillover and destabilization. Israeli troops and tanks continue their advance into Gaza, encircling its main city, as the UN warns that airstrikes are getting closer to hospitals where thousands of Palestinians have sought refuge. Video footage shows an Israeli tank blocking Gaza's main north-south highway, impacting those seeking to escape. Tensions rise as both sides engage in the conflict, with civilians suffering and hospitals under threat. The situation has raised concerns of regional escalation, impacting not only Gaza but also neighboring areas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faced backlash for initially blaming intelligence officials for not warning him about the October 7th Hamas attack. Just 10 hours later, he retracted his remarks, apologizing for his earlier statements. The attack, which left over 1,400 Israelis dead and more than 220 hostages, raised questions about Israel's preparedness. While some security officials accepted blame for intelligence failures, Netanyahu did not. The apology follows a scathing rebuke of his own intelligence officials and their assessment of Hamas intentions.